This is Dr. Neufeld with just a quick review of going over Roman numbers. How to write them, add them, and subtract them. Remember, one of the first things we learn is that there are numbers that are small always go to the left, and when there is a number on the left, we subtract that number. Only one number can go on the left. However, when we have a small number to the right of a large number, what do we do when it's on the right-hand side? We add it. Also, keep in mind there are three numbers that can go to the right of a larger number. Keep this in mind. One number to the left, we subtract. Three numbers to the right, and we add. Those numbers is very strict. The numbers 1 on the left and 3 on the right. Here are some of the letters, basic letters that we learned. The I is a 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500, and M is 1,000. Let's start with a few basic things, like how do we write those numbers? Capital I is number 1. Two I's next to each other is number 2. We are adding them up. Three I's next to each other is a 3. Remember, only 3 numbers in a row together. Now we're going to take a larger number and subtract a smaller number. The larger number goes on the right. When we put a smaller number to the left, we subtract it. This is the number 4. Here's number 1. Here's number 2. Here's number 3. There's number 4. In Roman numbers, a V is 5. Now we're going to use a 5 and a 1 to create the number 6. This time we have the capital V with a capital I next to it on the right-hand side. Remember, when we put a number on the right-hand side, we add it, and it will continue for 7 and 8. Now, a common mistake is to put VIII for the number 9, but that would be 4 numbers on the right. We can only put 3 numbers on the right, so it's going to go back to subtraction. The number 9 is the number 10 minus 1. So for the number 9, it's IX. The number 10 is X. Now we're going to continue with the adding on the right. 11, 12, 13. Now for the number 14, we're going to subtract, but this time we have the number 10, and now we want a number 4. For number 4, if we put 4 I's together, that's incorrect. It's 5 minus 1. We subtract when the number's on the left. So we have the 5, but we're going to subtract 1 from the 5. This gives us the number 4, but put all 3 together, and that is 14. XI is 15, XVI is 16, etc. Keep this in mind when we start to think of larger numbers. Now let's do some practicing with some other numbers. Let's say we want to try the number 94. If we're going to write the number 94, it's good to look at each digit at a time. Now we're writing 94. We first look at the 9. How do we write 9 in Roman numbers? Well, we would take 100 minus 10. In Roman numbers, that would be a C for 100. But to subtract a 10, we'd have to put the 10 on the left. Now we have 100 minus 10. This is the 90 together. But we still need the 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. 1 from 5, 1 is on the left-hand side of 5, is subtraction. So this gives us a 4. This gives us a 9, this gives us a 4, so XCIV is 94. Again, we start one digit at a time. Let's try another number. Let's look at the number 39. Now remember, we could put 3 digits in a row. First, we're going to look in the tens column, 30. How do we get 30? Well, we could say 50 minus 20, but then we can't put an L on the right 50 because minus 20 would be 2 x's to the left, 10 plus 10, and that's 2 digits on the left. We can only put 1. Actually, the way to write 30 is 3 x's because it's 3 columns in a number that are the same. That's how we get 30. Now to get the number 9, we can take a 10, subtract 1. This gives us the 9. This gives us the 30. So XXXIX is 39. Let's try an even harder digit. Let's try 256. We'll start with the hundreds column. 200. Well, let's see. Here's a C. C stands for 100. We could put 2 together in a row. So CE equals 200. Next number, 50. Here's a 50 right here. CCL is 250. We want 256. How do we get 6? 5 plus 1 is 6. CCLVI is 256. Now let's try to go backwards. What if you're given a number that says IX? What number is it? Again, this is the number 10, this is the number 1. 1, the smaller number is on the left of the larger number, so you subtract, so IX is the number 9. If you had XXXV, what number is that? 3 x's together, 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30. Right next to it, on the right-hand side, is a 5. So we add it. XXXV is 35. And our last one, let's try a big number. Let's try DXL VII. What is that number? Let's start with the D. D is 500. Now, we have a smaller number next to a larger number. The smaller number is on the left. So we're going to take these two together. Since the L is 50 and X is 10 and it's on the left, it's going to be 50 minus 10. So XL is 40. Now, we have 3 numbers together. VII. Smaller numbers, 1. The I is on the right-hand side of the V. So we're going to be adding that. VII together is 5, 6, 7. So VII is 7. Now we put all 3 together. And DXL VII is 7. I hope this explains a little bit easier how it is to add and subtract numbers, how to write numbers in our normal fashion, and how to switch it to Roman numbers, and how to take Roman numbers and convert them to the regular numbers we use today. If you have any questions, please email me.